so he should stream. So he's not streaming? Well, so he's playing offline. This guy is very, very hardworking. Jeez. Okay, so let's go for the game, right? One game only. Start. I will try and play through the way and try to express and trying to tell you how to think along the game. So guys, what should I play first? E4 or D4? I think I'm gonna start with, E4. Let's see how things goes. E5. So my opponent play E5. Now there can be a lot of good thing to play. I'm gonna play the main stuff, knight 3. C6 I guess? Okay, D6. This is called Philidor defense. This one is really good for him to play. I mean, like, solid. Very solid and also quite easy to play, usually, easy to use. But slightly passive. That is like the opposite side of this opening. I'm gonna try to play normally. Bishop c4. Developing the bishop. Bishop e7. Knight c3. I can play d4 for sure, but I'm not so like hasty to make that move, since I can do that whenever I want. Castles. Okay, now d4. And now I will take the knight on d4, not the queen, since first of all, the queen here can be kicked by the knight c6 with tempo. Second, the knight d4 can be more active. I will try and explain things more clearer very soon. C6. Understandable move. This guy is from Myanmar, I guess. Yeah, Myanmar. Okay, now I think I'll keep improving my bishop. Now bishop c1 need to be improved, right? That can be 1, 2, 3. That is like, you can go for that. I'm gonna go bishop f4 to taking the pawn with the weakness on d6. b5 is annoying actually. d5. Okay. d5 to get rid of the weaknesses. But somehow here he got the isolated pawn in the center. So we can try to apply that. Now d5 takes and bishop b3. That can be some ways to play. Bishop b3, bishop d3, both can be playable. But I think I'm gonna play bishop b3 since I want to keep an eye on the pawn d5, right? Bishop c5. What is this move doing? I'm trying to figure it out. I don't even know what it's doing. Well, actually, it's not doing anything. Since it is attacking, it's not like looking for the trading pieces, but he will be worse with the trade on d4. That's the first thing. And second, this d5 pawn right now become really bad, guys. So now we'll start question right now. So now the pawn d5 will be really weak and can be attacked if the knight moves, right? So now the knight have 3 moves available. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Someone is ringing the bell. I don't even know who ringing the bell. I don't know who they are. Luckily my mom's home. One moment. Okay guys, so now which squares 1, 2, 3, which you're thinking are the best square for the knight to jump? Guys, let's start the first question today. No? Never. He simply didn't like this thing. I mean, like, actually, I'm looking, I mean, like, you know, just stream first. I'm gonna try and answer the questions on Discord if you want to. Okay, so in the 3 squares available, right? Number 5 is the best. Why? First of all, it's more aggressive, since it went with a plan taking c7. Second, this d5 pawn is with attack, so now we have a double attack. Both this move can be fine, but it just not as strong as this one. Since right here we got two threats at the same time. Right? Two threats at the same time. Yeah, now knight c7 is really strong. You see here. Strong, right? And he got a very bad rook on a7. Okay guys, so now here comes another question. Which pieces you want to capture on d5? You got 3 pieces. 2 attacking on d5. So what do you want to capture on d5? Yeah, I mean the point is simply like it was c7. Like we got the double attack, double threats actually. Yeah, I mean like you can try and take the queen if you want to, but I'm trying to ask like what is the pieces you want to take on d5? If it is white's turn right now, what do you want to take on d5? Actually here, I will trying to explain more things after the game, but now taking the knight's best. Why? First of all, it is attacking this knight on b8. Second, right now the knight can move away and the c7 squares actually is not as safe. Not many squares are available there. Okay, now I go for this move. It seems pretty cool to me. But I want to bring the rook to d1 to attacking the queen d8. Also I want the queen here to starting to assert some pressures against the black king and g8. Well, I think this guy is pretty good. I don't know. This guy seems decent to me, in my opinion. Wait a second. Decent? What I'm talking? Decent. No. What I'm talking? He's not even decent. What am I even talking? Come on, bro. I just going to jinx you. I just like going to tell you that you're decent, and now you answer with this move. You can see I don't do anything so strong actually. And you can see how strong the 95 can be, like it controlling center and everything. I mean, I trying to jinx him. Oh dear, and I don't even need to make the nice move and he resign. GG. I'm not doing well, I mean, just hit resign so early. I mean, I think he see that how bad this move is, I guess. Right? But okay, I mean, okay, so, not a good game. But now I want to try explain to you how things works. And how can I play this move, right? Okay, so I think I have time for another game, I guess. I think I can, okay, so I don't plan to, I don't plan to play more than a game. But now I want to play a game actually. Well, I mean, Botas is pretty good, bro. And we're gonna play, I'm not going to play anyone in the chat. I'm simply trying to play some rapid games. Yeah, winning. This is winning for sure, bro. This is winning. What do you think? One moment, I want to try to analyze to see, like, what is the accuracy? Percentages? Okay, here, so let's try and come back to the game first. Right? I mean, like, obviously, my explanation cannot be compared to Danya. We're trying to myself, I'm trying to make that, like, something, like, really understandable for yourself. For you guys, what I'm talking. Jeez. Okay, so here. Well, 96% should be fine. I guess so. Yes. Okay, so let's go through the game. Here we are. Let's go through the game. So after every time I play repeat games, I will try to analyze after that and try and make you guys understand more about the game and how about my thinking process. Be sure to ask questions if you want to, and be sure to ask me anything if you don't feel that you really understand what I'm trying to say, right? E4, E5. In the game I play E4 and he play E5. And F3, D6. I mean, this is playable, but I must say that this is really passive. This stuff is only like really trendy a few years ago. No, I'm talking like a few decades ago, even more. I think like a century ago, when Philidor was still playing, Philidor and Stenets, who really prefer this kind of stuff. This thing's a bit passive, and somehow you will see that Bishop E7 F8 actually doesn't have any potential. That's why normally people should like to play Knight C6, right? D6, C4. Obviously, right here, obviously, D4 can be played. Obviously, D4 can be played. But why I am playing C3? Why I am playing Knight C3? Why? I know C4. I mean, why I'm playing this one? Simply I play this move. Since I know, since I remember a lot of games and like a really funny trap that even I have a chance to play in my stream one more time in the past. Sometimes G4 trying to pin me, then C3, something like this, right? And then if like the play correctly, if you play something like maybe A6, I don't care, like this move, A6. So now what can White do, guys? What can White do this position? A really famous combination and beautiful as well. So now what can White do to win? I think he should be winning a pawn, but we'll give him a lot of play for that. Yeah, this is like the famous checkmate. I just doesn't remember the name of the checkmate method. And this one is really famous. Like Knight E5. Well, Knight G5 formally is worse. So Knight G5, not only you cannot doing anything, so Bishop D1 plus here, so like this, and now King D7, and the king can escape. Second, Knight G5 simply hangs a knight to Queen G5, right? Yeah, typo. G is an E. Okay, so I know what you mean. I know what you mean formally. You can see my kappa face. I really believe you. Don't worry. Yeah, Knight E5 is correct. I mean, like this is the reason why I play Bishop C4. Obviously, you can play D4 here, but I just play this to see if an opponent can fall for a trap. Knight E7, Knight C3, Knight F6, castles, and then play D4. To grab center, you can see right now that we are looking more active, right? More active. So now it's the time to push in the center, trying to grab a center as well, and also trying to be more active and grab more space. D4, take the pawn, knight takes. As I told you in the game, right now queen takes is not that strong, since queen takes simply Knight C6. Simply Knight C6. And he get out his pieces. With tempo, right? So just remember, don't play a move that allow your opponent to develop with tempo. That's the thing. Also, the D4 and the knight can have more potential in the center. The D4, C6. Bishop F4. The idea of this is quite simple. I want to finish my development, right? We both want to finish our development. So the bishop needs to develop. But where? Bishop E3 like this, are three squares available. What is tempo in chess? Simply like your opponent is trying to make a move with a threat. That forces you, I mean like he get free, I mean the tempo words is really like basic. Normally I think we all understand what is tempo, but how I can try and help you to understand the definition of that is that tempo is somehow you trying to develop something, some pieces, with a thread. That force you to, I mean, retrieve something like that. Yeah, I mean, this is a different concept. I'm trying to find a great definition, but something that you trying to like save you a move. I think save you a move, I guess. But I mean, this is like very basic concept of chess, you know. Okay, so I let's try to finish the game first. After that, I'm trying to go like guide you through some chess concept, chess concept that I can try and answer for you. So now, sure, like from these three squares, right? I can develop to both the three squares. But now simply I figure out that bishop f4 and this d6 pawn has been slightly weakened due to bishop c6, right? That's why I'm playing this. Bishop f4, the idea is to starting attack on the d6 squares. Yeah, that is good. That is a good example, Zeta. Like trying to e4 d5, and this is what is the Scandinavia, right? Scandinavia, and then e d5 and knight c3, developing and threat with a move. Yes, bishop 4, d5. This move is slightly worse, but I mean after this, you can see like after this. So this is pretty clear that this pawn is weakness, right? So now your next plan can be like queen d2 and rook d1, trying starting to look at this is pawn. You know, this is like a normal plan you can try and look at. Hello, imaginary friend. Let's see you as well. d5. This move I don't think the best. He can play knight d7 with knight e5 to block my bishop here. Actually, this pawn is weak, so defending that is a good plan. But now d5. I think this is fine, around fine, but not easy to execute, since you need some personal knowledge to play with the isolated pawn. So accept that. So one thing I want you to play, and one thing I trying to recommend to you is that when your opponent trying to give you the chance to give him the isolated pawn, do that. Since normally it is something that easier to play for you. The one who play against the isolated pawn, it should be easier to play for you than your opponent. Since like when he's like having the isolated pawn, he need to play really active, and also need to find a concrete plan, which is not easy. 35 takes, and bishop b3. And actually, 95 is a bad move. Why? To know what? Yeah, this is like a speed run. This is like actually this is not even a speed run, I guess. I mean this is not speed run. This is a slow run. I mean like sometimes I just play some rapid games like 10 minutes, trying to explain the things, trying to show you how to play chess properly, and trying to show you like I think simply like how to get better at chess. I mean I know that I'm not a good teacher at all, but I will try my best, right? So what I want to tell you, I mean this is slightly advanced lessons, that when you get the isolated pawn, don't try to trade your pieces. I mean like for black right now, he cannot trade in pieces, since like the more pieces he trade, the weaker this pawn and d5 become. Like the pawn here is the thing that need to. What is the definition of the isolated pawn? The isolated pawn simply means that it is a pawn that needs to be defended by a piece, not a pawn. That is called isolated pawn, right? So you know when everything is traded, in the endgame, this pawn d5 will become really weak and attack it to attack. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, like, you can try that. This is something pretty the same with Daniel speedrun, but he just make it more than me. 1 week I only able to make that maybe like a few times, I guess, a few times. I mean, we all love Danya's run. Actually, you guys love Danya's run, and I love him actually. No, forget about that. Forget about that. Okay, so in the endgame, this pawn d5 will become winners, right? Guys, don't eat the kappa, bro. Bishop e3. You can see that right now it's not easy to defend this pawn d5. Also, his pieces is really passive, and you can see that they are not developing much, right? They are not developing much. So in the game, bishop c5. I mean, this is really strange move. So one thing here, and I think I have already told you guys once more, but I still need to tell again. So you know, when you're playing with, when you are playing against the isolated pawn, one thing you should always do is not trying to, blockade him like this with the knight in front of the pawn, and also starting to get the pieces out to attack. And trading pieces is a good thing to do as well, with the reason I told you earlier. And for the side, like black side here, if you want to play the isolated pawn, you need to try to be active, trying to use the file here to attack, and trying to, get some attacking chances. Since normally the pawn here can give some extra spaces behind that, but now you can see that black doesn't have all these things. That's why white is simply better right here. Is it better to have an isolated A pawn versus a D pawn? What do you mean? I mean, like, actually the isolated A pawn, I think the A pawn normally is not called isolated pawn. I mean, normally that's called like pass pawn in the rook file. Since normally, I mean, like, the A pawn is different pawn comparing to the other pawn. Simply, it is something really strong in the endgame. Since normally the knight will find it hard to defend against the rook pawn. To tell you that, I mean, like, he has something to do. I think he wants to open up the E file to do a thing, but simply you can see that after the game, when he make this, suddenly the pawn d5 becoming so bad, right? So now, as I tell you, knight b5. Now time starting to attacking him, especially the d5 pawn. Why? Simply, you can see that black is really lagging in development. Also, by right now, we can simply starting attack, since most of our pieces have been developed, and he get nothing to develop the d5 pawn. That's the thing. Knight b5. White is strong. We try and span away for my queen and bishop to attacking d5 pawn. Also, right now, knight c7 is really strong threat. So now you can say that we're having two threats at the same time. So something that, like some double threats or some multiple threats like this always give you a good position. Remember? Knight b5. So now simply, if you play bishop e6, got knight c7 for instance, and I win at least an exchange. That's the thing. So now suddenly it's hard for him to defend the d5 pawn. I don't see a clear way to defend that. a6, knight c7, and you can see he get a very bad rook on a8. Also, what do you mean bishop b7? The bishop cannot jump into the pawn for sure. Bishop b6, so now queen d5. He does a pawn. Bishop can take as well. No worry. I mean, you can feel free to ask any question. I'm trying to make things like very concrete for you guys to understand everything. But still, you can feel free to ask any question if you want to, right? Knight c7. Knight c7. And with enforcing. Okay, so now let's come to the part I asked in the game again. To tell you why 95 is the best. Why 95 is the best. First of all, we're bringing up the knight on c7 to attacking the bishop, to get away from the bishop to attacking the knight on b8. Second, always remember that the knight on the center is very strong, and that will always be the square you want to locate your knight. If you can get your knight to the center, always do that. Always do that. Third, actually here, you can do queen d5 to go for the endgame. But actually, one thing I will try to tell you is that obviously we already know that when we want to convert our material, so there are two ways to do: trying to liquidate into an endgame, or simply trying to keep playing and trying to use that extra material for the attack. So now when the opponent is so passive like this, right? I see that black is so passive, so I just simply want to spend my pieces, especially my queen, at the board, retain that, since I still have some attacking chances, right? Do you understand? That's why I decided to play knight d5, since I feel that like you can see how bad and how passive his pieces is right now. That's why I still want to keep in the board, to keep on the attack, right? So bishop e6, queen h5. I mean, this move is the strongest one. How can I figure it out of that? First of all, now you can see I need to get out my rook as well. I need to get my rook out as well to attack, right? But how can I do that? Simply right now, if you want to do that, the queen must move. Obviously, you want to place your rook in the open file, right? Right now the D and the E file right now is open, right? So you want to locate your pieces, your rook, in that squares, right? But now the queen is staying on d1. So that's why we want to go for like getting the queen out and letting the group at d1, right? So why play queen h5 instead of queen f3? Simply I think that queen h5 here, I can take a look at this c5 bishop, and it will be closer to his king, and then we'll get the rook out. How can I think about that? Simply you need to see like how to get out your pieces. Also you need to start to see that your rook is so strong on the center and on the open file. That's why how you can think it out, how you can bring the rook to the main open file. So queen h5 is what I want to go for. Obviously queen f3 is another good idea. Queen f3 must be another good idea, but I think I prefer this, since my queen is closer to his king, and here I think there will be some chances to attack. You understand? So now in the game, obviously in the game everything finished. Right? In the game everything finished. But even if you're trying to like develop something like knight c6, I guess we can play rook d1 simply, right? Rook a1 like this, and bring the rook out, right? So now if you're trying to close the file knight d4, now we got some really strong attack. You can see that since his pieces is so bad, so now whenever a rook we get into the game, we get a very strong attack. Something like this. If you play knight b3 right now, how can white make a very strong move? How can white make a very strong move right now to start the attack? G6. Okay, I know what you're asking. Let me try and answer that later. How can starting attack right now? Very strong. I know the Mula. I will try to answer that later. Now we got a very strong move to start attack. Also, exploiting the bad position of the queen on d8. Yeah, you guys correct. Knight f6, correct. So now if you takes here, takes, I'm sure f6. Although the material seems to be equal, but black is really worse. Why? Since his king is like much more open. His knight b3 is being attacked, and his rook is being attacked as well. Most of his pieces are being hung, right? Are being hung. So now, although the material is slightly equal, but we are really better, if not to say, winning completely. Right? I mean, some of you guys want to play queen g5, but always be careful. Always be careful not to botas. Always be careful not to botas. That's the only thing I can say here. And I mean, you know, somehow losing the queen is not a good idea. So about g6. G6, this one. Another question like this. But now, first of all, obviously, queen f3 is a move to retain the defense of the d5 squares, right? The d5 knight. But since the queen on d8 is on a very bad location, and we can try to exploit that by simply trying to go queen h6. This one. Queen 6. Now our plan is go to e5. But what happened if you take here? So now guys, what can white do? What can white do right now to get back the piece? What can white do right now to get back the piece? Also get out of the pieces into the game? What can white do right now to develop and get the initiative as well? Okay, so now the final question. I think you guys have been understanding pretty well. Here comes the final question. Which rook here? Rook A or rook F? For the final question. Which rook to d1? Go. Sack the queen. Well, you know, there are a lot of time either are not just fine. I mean, there's something wrong with something. First of all, something like this. Rook a d1. Since this rook belongs to f file, so now if you can try and settle both of the rook in the only 2 open files, it's so strong for you. So strong for you. First. Second, everyone actually is slightly inaccurate. Since right now I don't know, but he gets something like bishop f2, I guess. But now simply the rook here needs some time to go here as well. But not to e1. That's why I don't think I like this. Also bishop f2 is something I don't like to see in the game. Also like bishop d6, I guess. That's why rook a d1. The rook here still defend f2. And we got a very strong pressure along d5, right? So you guys are correct. Clapped. So you know, you can see it up with 5 and with the idea of d1. Black is in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Since his pieces is like hanging, like this bishop c5 for instance, the queen is in an unfortunate fall. Also these rooks are so bad that it cannot be thinking about how to develop normally, right? In the game, obviously, he's playing something pretty strange, like queen f6, and I don't even know why, but still, this is funny stuff. Right? It's funny stuff. Jeez. Okay, guys. That's the game. So, you guys understand me? Before I do some other stuff, you guys understand me? Or need some more explanation or something? Do you guys feel my explanation clear enough? Or some instruction need to be said? Okay, good. You understand that? I mean, I'm trying to make sure you feel like really understand this, and I want to make sure that my community can understand the thing. That's all. That's all. And the one thing I should always like care for is that you guys feel understandable, and you guys feel that you understand my explanation, and you understand right now. That's the thing, right? Okay, I think I need to go right now. I mean, this is a really short stream. Really short stream, I told you earlier. But jeez. Jeez, I mean, like, wake up a bit late. That's why I can only do one game. That's a bit bad for sure. But still, I think I will see you in 1 or 2 days. Tomorrow, I don't know, but probably I won't stream. Since I need to wake up until 4 a.m. 4 a.m. So tomorrow, probably I won't. But if I stream, maybe I will try and get Nemo for some bullet matches. I don't know. But I don't think I will, I guess. I think we'll come back in Sub Sunday. I love you. Okay, hopefully you guys understand me and you guys love my stream for sure. Okay, right. Okay. So now let's find someone to read. Come on, Zita, stop that. What are you doing? Okay, I see John Bartholomew. I wanna read him, I guess. Thanks, my friend. I love you too. Thanks for all the support. I mean, like, the best gift in my channel from me is that, like, not mine, like, obviously we love the subs, we love some supports, but I mean, like, if you feel like involved here and you understand what I'm trying to explain, that's the best, right? That's the best. Thank you guys for being here. I mean, I appreciate it a lot. Let's read John Bartholomew.